we're starting our next unit now. So our next unit is called Systems of Equations. You did a little bit of this in Algebra 1, but we're going to take this even further for Algebra 2. So you see here I have two equations. I have 3x plus 4y equals 5, and I have 7x plus 8y equals 40. So in our normal stuff like before systems of equations, you might have had like, well, let's call this f of x. You might have had like f of x equals 4x plus 8. And usually we knew the x and we were trying to find the y, or we set this equal to 0 and we're trying to find our x. In that case, we only have one equation, and we're really only just solving one variable. But now, notice, we don't know what the x is and we don't know what the y is. We need both of those. So the general rule is that you need, for every unknown that you have, you need an equation. So your number of unknowns, which is your variables, so number of unknowns has to equal your number of equation. Otherwise you can't solve it. So in this case we have two unknowns, we have x and a y. We have two equations. So we could use these equations together to solve for your x and y. The first thing we're going to do with these is we're going to learn how to set these systems up. So this system is already set up, but a lot of times it's not going to come set up. You're going to have to actually do this yourself. So here we have a word problem, everybody's favorite. So Mark has two summer jobs. His mom will let him work 35 hours a week. He earns $10 an hour cleaning pools and $15 an hour babysitting his brother. If he earned $475 for the week, how many hours did he spend on each task? So that might be something that we're looking at. So the first thing, like with all of our word problems, the first thing that we need to do is well, first of all, we want to know what are they asking. So in this case, it wants to know how many hours on each task. So, okay, that we don't know. So we're gonna set up our variables. Okay, so our variables, our tasks are unknown, right? So how many hours on each job? So let's call P our cleaning the pool. And let's call babysitting our B. So babysitting. Now, if you have a little bit of dyslexia and you have a tendency to switch things up and like flip them over accidentally, this P and the B might be confusing for you. So if you wanted to, we could make this a C instead. It's all about what works for you. So if this works better than a P, you know that you get things switched up, then choose something that's going to not be switched up. So okay, so our variables, let's call C for cleaning pools, B for babysitting. Those are our variables. Those are our unknowns. So then looking at this word problem, now we need to know, well, what information do they give us? So we know they give us that he works 35 hours total. And they give us that he earned 475. So this 35 isn't going to be multiplied by either of these variables, and neither is this 475. So chances are those are going to be the ones that we're going to put on the other side of the equal sign. So let's go ahead and set that up. So this is our first equation. This is our second equation. One of them is going to get 35, and one of them is going to get 475. Okay, so we're part of the way there. So we know that, okay, so looking at the 35, that's the number of hours that he worked. So that has nothing to do with how much he made, that's just the number of hours. So we know that all together he worked 35. So then what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, well, the number of hours cleaning the pool plus the number of hours babysitting is going to give us 35. So our first equation then would be C plus B equals 35. That's equation 1. The other one, what we know is that for cleaning the pool, he gets $10 an hour. So this is $10. For this one, he gets $15 per hour. So that means like if he worked 10 hours babysitting, then he gets 10 times 15, so he would get 150. So then those are going to be, those prices are going to be used with our variables to determine how much you made. So we know we're still going to have our C, we're still going to have our B, but what we're going to have is we know that he gets $15 for babysitting, he gets $10 for paying the pool, and there are two equations. That's all we do. So we have C plus B equals 35, 10C plus 15B equals 475, and then we would solve those. So this is your equation 1, this is your equation 2. That's all we do. So we're going to pick our information out so we know like looking back at this, so we know we have $10 an hour cleaning pools, $15 an hour babysitting the brother. So we had our 35 total, 475 total, and then our $10 an hour and $15 an hour, and we use that to make our two equations. Then after that, we would go into solving it. So that's enough on this video, and then the next video is going to be over actually solving. But first this week, so Monday and Tuesday, we're probably going to work on setting up the equations, and then we'll jump into solving them. Okay, have fun. See you in class.